Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, Abeer's Book Reviews, and today I'll be reviewing this book, The Trading Game by Gary Stevenson. Now, Gary Stevenson, he used to be an investment banker at a pretty big investment bank. Made his entire career there, and recently he's been going pretty viral on the internet for retelling his stories from that investment bank and what all he did, how it all played out. What were the internal politics of it. And this book is sort of like a memoir or an autobiography of sorts of Gary Stevenson's time inside of in the world of high finance and investment banking in London. So the book itself is built around these very these short stories, these intensive episodes from Gary's life. And each chapter focuses more or less on one snapshot in time. It's sort of frozen, right? One single trade, or one particular morning on the trading desk, or one exact moment where everything could be a make or break situation, and it sort of puts you on the spotlight to see how quickly these decisions are made inside of these banking corporations, and how there's basically no room for error when you're on the trading floor. It's a lot of stories about the trading floor. It's a lot of stories about the life outside of the trading floor. What's the relation between the traders? What's the relation between the traders and their bosses? What's the traders' relation with their own private individuals, their friends and family? And what's the difference between sort of the different ranks of traders? What's the entry level trader's life look like versus what does the executive manager his life look like? Do they notice the rise in prices? Do they notice the daily patterns of their neighborhood changing? Stuff like that. And all in all, my very honest read is it's a good book. I wouldn't recommend it as strongly, mostly for the one reason that it didn't quite capture my attention that much. It might be that my consumption habits have sort of become oversaturated with this topic of trading and life in high finance and business and whatnot. So I've consumed a lot of content, read some books prior. So coming from that aspect, this book really bluntly doesn't add a lot. It doesn't add a lot of value. It doesn't add a lot of information that was previously hidden from me. It was just like a nice, relaxing read, learning the story of this one guy, how he navigated the landscape of investment banking in London. For me, that's all the book is. But looking at it from a different perspective, if I did not know all that I knew and hadn't read so much these books and hadn't consumed so much content about this information, and I were to go into this point blank, I would actually say it's a pretty nice book. It's a pretty useful one at that, if you want to get started and actually learn about the workings of investment banking from a very high level, from a very high top-down view, in this sort of first-person perspective, where you get to learn with Gary and you get to experience these feelings with Gary and or sort of the past version of Gary. But if you fall into the second camp, you would really like this book. It is quite enticing. I wouldn't say it's badly written. It is quite well written. It just failed to capture my attention. So if you're in the former camp and you have some experience or studied about this or learned about this or just passively consumed a lot of content about this topic, I wouldn't say there's a whole lot more to be found that you don't already have. And yeah, I'll just leave you to make the decision on that. I gave you a very brief overview of what it talks about. It's about an investment banker's life, both in the office and outside of the office. And particularly for Gary's case, it's also about his rise to that position, how he started off as not getting the best grades in school, not the most financially stable conditions at home, and still yet he manages to make his way to the very top of the investment banking game. And it is a game. And in all earnest. If you read the book or if you read other books, you're gonna know it's a game. But here it is once again, The Trading Game by Gary Stevenson. If you guys enjoyed this review, make sure you hit the like button. If you're new and haven't already done so, subscribe to the channel to keep receiving more videos like this one. I've been Abeer Rao, and thanks for watching.